Okay.
My name is Leo Stegman, and we're in Deep East Oakland, and we're on PNN or Poor's News Network Television from Deep East Oakland.
All right.
My name is Norma Quijas, and I'm here at Homefulness.
Okay.
Now, California Junior Foundation and honorary board guide.
Okay.
2090. Stuck by Chuck, More Magazine.
Joseph Bolden, More Magazine, formerly, and volunteer currently.
My name is Irina Contreras, and I'm a poor friend.
Just your name right now, and then we'll come back.
Lauren Chief Elk.
Okay. And I'm Tiny on the sacred land we call Homefulness. We are blessed to be here today on this landless people's land liberation movement, taking back a small piece of Mama Earth, which is actually ancestral land of the Ohlone peoples, First Nations, who were removed by the same kind of colonizers who remove us and gentrificate us today. So we're going to actually, our first guest is Lauren, who's going to talk about something that happened recently, if you could tell us.
Sure. Hi, my name is Lauren Chief Elk. Like I said, I am from Fort Belknap, Montana, home of the Nakota people. And I do a lot of work on gender violence, colonial gender violence, missing and murdered indigenous women, different types of interpersonal abuses. And we created an interactive map and database to be able to show this violence visually and actually track and map violent incidences of missing and murdered Native women just across the continent. And I am back here in the Bay Area because the California College of the Arts stole our map, and students passed it off as their own as a project. They were awarded money for this. Lots of money, and this plagiarism has been admitted by the school, and they are fully engaging in like protecting the students and protecting the stealing, engaging in the covering up of this, and so we are kind of pushing back on this by confronting the school directly and also doing some of our teaching and educational outreach while I'm here.
Interesting. Can you actually tell listeners or viewers what your mapping project actually discovered before it was pimped and stolen?
But yeah, before that, just generally working on this. This has been a culmination of decades of work of cases and violent incidences and disappearances that are ignored by the media and also ignored by our legal system and just the maze of problems that the legal system is, especially for indigenous people and other people of color, and also just how this violence is erased. Especially going along with like the colonial narrative of like Native people aren't here anymore. So we did this to bring all of this to light, and this culmination of work has really shown and demonstrated that you know, this level of violence and these types of violence are very much in fact ongoing genocide.
Interesting. How did the ladies who were on the border, what was the famous sort of they were killing the ladies at the maquiladores? Mm-hmm. Did you include them in the mapping, or would that not necessarily? It's not First Nations U.S. or Turtle Island, but what do you? Or well, it is. But what do you think of that, or how did that play in?
Absolutely. In fact, one of my partners, who was really the architect of the map, has done different work over the years regarding missing and murdered women, and that has absolutely included Juarez and the Pima side in Mexico, and has looked at this across the continent, and we actually hope to start including all of the Americas as we continue to expand the work on the map.
Okay.
because it definitely includes them.
Beautiful. Any other questions for her before we? Yeah.
So I have a little understanding on Akademik. There's two incidents that I did where they talk about plagiarism. One was the War Churchill thing, where they're trying to say that he plagiarized something in his thing. He got severely punished. And I think maybe you're from Montana. Isn't the senator from Montana, Mr. Walsh, that they said that he plagiarized something in his dissertation? He was in one of those CIA war colleges. I mean, they're saying that it's okay to plagiarize without citing, and they're saying that it's exact. There is nothing wrong with it, period.
Yeah, it is really interesting that while I've been on the road, I heard about the dropout with Walsh because of this whole issue, and I think this has been going on for a long time. I think especially like people of color's work is constantly and has been consistently ripped off and passed off as others, especially those who are in like more powerful positions, who occupy like more powerful positions. And I think it's a really terrible phenomenon. I think that there's like an attitude that people's work is just up for grabs. If you find it shiny and interesting and decide you can make a pretty penny off of it, that you don't have to like respect it. Like you don't have to respect their bodies or time. You know, one of the things that I said about this is that, you know, with like indigenous people and indigenous lands and all of that's deemed, you know, inherently invadable and inherently takeable, that has really applied to this work as well. That it's just like, oh well, we've taken everything else.
Wow.
Like, you know, that this is part of that narrative that I can just take these things and
right.
It's
almost a sort of a simulacrum of colonization.
But it's capitalism. Like like jazz musicians and like athletes, they will steal your labor, claim it as their own, make $1 million off you, and you end up broke. You say, well, you make money off of my song, my image, my labor, my anything,
right?
And they just take it.
Too bad for you. Can you just tell viewers as we close out, what are your plans now? What are you doing with the mapping project? What are you doing with with the institution?
So we're continuing kind of like our educational outreach and teach-ins and expanding them as much as we can and partnering with all kinds of different people. And regarding CCA, we're pretty sure that right now just hoping we kind of go away, which is not happening because there's like just the school's response is now just shut down and they're just not answering any questions about this anymore. We are filing a complaint with their accrediting institutions and are kind of moving from there, but that's definitely the next step. And just letting them know that this is not going away. That that this is they don't just get to take this and keep going.
Exactly. And I just want to give you, strength on that. I mean, we already know that the history of indigenous peoples and poor peoples is to be fetishized and used and pimped and never honored. And not only that, but our histories are constantly silenced. And it's happened to poor thousands of times.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, it really. So anyway, ghetto protection is real. We'll talk to you off camera about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.